Hi everyone, my name is DJ Bulls, and I'm excited to share a little bit with you about a wonderful new project called the Timeless Psalter in this poster session called A New Psalter for a New Generation. Psalms have always been at the center of the church's worship. As we're going to look in just a moment, the Psalms formed the center of the church's worship for some 200 years. But we're at a crossroads with church music today. Music bombards us with different languages, different styles, different theologies, and we're left to ask the question of how we're going to lead our congregations with music that is rich, spiritually formative, and leads people into a deep relationship with Jesus Christ. I'm here to contend to you that the Psalms lie at our fingertips as one of the most important resources we can return to, and that the Timeless Psalter is an incredible resource to help us do just that. Let's look briefly back at history to set the table for how this Timeless Psalter can be of help to you and to your churches. It's helpful for us to get a historical understanding of just how important the Psalms have been in the history of the church's worship. As you can see from this brief abbreviated timeline, from 1549 to Sternhold's first Psalter with 19 psalms to Isaac Watts' Psalms of David imitated in 1719 to the writings of Watts and the Wesleys, the Psalms were at the center of the church's music and worship life. As 1800 rolled around and the 19th century came and the rise of gospel songs and other new hymns rose to prominence in the church's worship, psalmody got pushed to the back burner and was supplanted by this rise of new music. We see that with the Reformed Presbyterian Church, there were two psalters that remained at central places in that denomination's worship body as a church that still sings a lot of psalms. And also in 2012, a psalter was published by the Christian Reformed Church, Psalms of All Seasons, to help provide a resource for the church to recover psalm singing as a valued historical practice. Churches of Christ are unique because singing and a cappella worship has been a core practice of its church since its founding by Campbell and Stone in their desire to restore the ancient order of things. 1906 census recognized independent Christian churches, Churches of Christ, and Disciples of Christ as three different denominational bodies. But Churches of Christ were known as a cappella Churches of Christ because of the lack of musical instruments in their worship. That's a conversation for another day. But like most other denominations, there has never been a psalter specific to Churches of Christ. The only songs that it has sung that were psalmic in nature were settings of Psalm 23 and Psalm 42 and excerpts of psalms that had been passed down through hymnals over 100 or 125 years. With the Timeless Psalter, we are recovering the original intent of the Hymn Book of Israel. Timeless provides the church in 3 books resources for all of the Psalms. With each Psalm comes responsive readings. You see in front of you Psalm 54, a Psalm of Lament, a responsive reading that you would receive as a resource that accompanies the Timeless volume, but also, along with the new translations and new musical settings, comes a brief word called For Those Who Sing. This is designed to help the congregation, really, and individuals too, in denominational practice and in devotional private life, use the tools of the Psalms as an incredibly rich resource for personal devotion. It's helpful to understand the why behind what you're singing. And then you would get each musical setting of each psalm, anywhere from 1 setting to 5 settings of every psalm. This is an example of Psalm 54 that you would receive in digital notation, projected 4-part harmony to help the church continue to practice singing parts. Each psalm goes through a rigorous review process from lyrics to music, and then editorial and review committees, as well as an executive committee. There are a number of products that are designed to serve every flavor of our churches, from projected notation, as opposed to just projecting words. You can project music in conventional or shaped notation. You can also get conventional and shaped notation digital products. The Psalms have been around for thousands of years. They're one of the most rich resources we have at our disposal. As we stand at a worship and music crossroads, the time is now for us to go back to the Psalms. Timeless is a wonderful resource to help a church do just that.